Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly. Ooh. Need an answer to your question, John, you'll have a suggestion. He's a fountain of all knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chat and give him a shout. Hey, John. Hey, John. GarageBand Weekly.
Oh, hey there. Sorry, I was just grooving to that Kronk song. Yeah, did you know that that theme music's by our very own Kronk song? It's very cool. Hello, welcome to GarageBand Weekly. My name's Pete Johns, and for the next, who knows, half an hour, we'll see how much time we need for this. Today, we're going to talk about all things GarageBand, Logic Pro, home recording, technology, you name it, we're talking about it. And if you've got questions, all you need to do is put a big Q in front of your question and I will endeavour to answer it. Or here's the good news. We got a whole bunch of folks who are here with us live, and it's usually the amazing brains trust of this community that help me out because I don't know everything. I know, contrary to popular belief, contrary to Kronk songs, I didn't go to GarageBand College, but I do spend a lot of time making music and helping other folks make music using GarageBand. Hello to those who are here with us live. If you're watching on the replay, we love you just as much. You can leave your comments and questions and anything you'd like down in the comment section below. And if you have fun here today, if you get a bit of info or you just have some entertainment, then all you need to do is hit the thumbs up button and you'll be good to go. Don't forget you can support me in a bunch of different ways. You can become a patron. You can also become a channel member, and donations are always expected and never appreciated. No, flip that. Reverse it. We'll do some news and notes in just a tick, but thank you to the folks who are here live. We've got Mr. Mark Bro, we've got our moderator extraordinaire, Thomas Christ. G'day to Barry Glenn, hello Jamie Lynn. Jade Star Music is in the house as well. Tom S, hello to you. Hello to Al Davis Music, who I saw. Hello Driven to Right. G'day to Denise. Hello everybody. I hope you are all doing well. Just released my new one on Slaps. Well, that's very cool, Mark. Maybe we'll play Mark's song in the 8-bar challenge segment that we'll be doing in just a wee jiffy, even though it's not an 8-bar song. We'll go with there. I know, right? Making music in GarageBand. I'm shocked too. Jade's face says it all. Who knew you could make your own music in GarageBand? It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? I know. Some days I wake up and I kind of have to pinch myself and go, yeah, okay, we can actually do this. Like, for anyone like me that's old enough to have grown up with analog gear and recording their ideas onto cassette tapes and getting 4-track recorders and paying for studio time, all to produce something that was of lower quality than what I can record on this right now, or even this, or even my iPad. My entire album from 2018 was recorded on an iPad Air 2 and an iPhone 6. Like, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? Hello to Soul Rack M7 as well. There you go. It is based on your 8-bar song, which is a cool thing. Should we talk news and notes? Yeah, there's been a bit going on in the world of music and the world of Apple and GarageBand and all sorts of things. I'm going to start with this, and that is that I asked yesterday on my Facebook group, by the way, if you're on Facebook, check out Create, Record, Release. That's our Facebook group. It's a very cool community. It's not your usual Facebook group. It's just about music, and it's just about sharing information, tips, ideas, and our songs that we create. So Create, Record, Release is a good thing. Let's jump over here. Yeah. Spotify are raising prices. Those pesky tariffs that, wait a minute, no, tariffs have nothing to do with this. Daniel Eck wants another ivory back scratcher. I don't know. So, in case you didn't know, Spotify made money for the very first time last year and are now investing in what some would say are some dubious investments, such as AI war equipment. Yeah, there's a great line connecting, independent music and AI missiles, right? Sure. So prices are going up for premium subscriptions. We're talking South Asia, Middle East, Africa, Europe, Latin America, and the Asia Pacific region. You know the only place not going up? The US. Well, and Canada and a few other places. But yeah, why are our prices going up? Well, because Spotify want money, line go up. Will this mean that they're going to start pumping more money into your pocket as an independent artist? I wouldn't count on it. I definitely wouldn't rely on that being the case. But they'll point to operating costs and the cost of servers and the cost of streaming music and the cost of, yeah. We've heard it all before. So there you go. Yes, more AI stuff going out to the world. There you go. You can go to create, record, release. There you go. We should only release protest and peace songs on Spotify. Exactly. Spot on, says Mark. Next up, iPad OS and iOS 26 is a thing. And if you would like to find out about all the changes coming to your phone and your iPad and your Mac, well, we've been talking about it for a while. By the way, all the articles that I'm referencing here are linked in the description. And I made sure that they're articles that are written by people, not AI, because sometimes you ask for an article and it's like, yeah, here's information. And it's like, this isn't true. This isn't factual. It's funny because I scan for articles myself every week, and then I then I go out to and ask ChatGPT, oh, is there anything that I might have missed? And it comes back and it says, oh, Logic Pro have got some ace new features. And I'm like, oh, you mean Logic Pro 2.2 that came out in May that I've already covered in depth on this channel? Yeah. So then I say, no. Anything in the last week? And they're like, yes, this posted 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, I mean, didn't understand the assignment, AI. But let us come down here and take a look, because I have installed the latest beta version. And you might have heard me say that they took some of the liquid away from the glass. Well, guess what? It's damp again. It's become more moist, because you can see now that they've actually re-liquefied a lot of these things, which is a thing. So, yeah, liquid glass is more liquidy. I haven't had a great time with this. It's already crashed 3 times when I first started to play with it. When I first went to the settings just to check what version it updated to, it crashed. So, yeah, it's not stable yet. And please, you know what we say about this stuff all the time. If you are in the middle of a big project, if you want reliability over the new fancy shininess, do go ahead and stay on iOS and iPadOS 18 for now. Let me be the guinea pig. Let me and Jade and Patrick and others use our second devices, not our daily drivers, and we will check it out for you. Hello to some other folks. Hello to Kahalo. Hello to Sean Chandler as well. I hope you're doing well. AI says I'm young and handsome. Yes, aren't we? Aren't we all, according to AI? And thank you for becoming a member. If you missed yesterday's after party with the members, my goodness, you would have seen me losing my ever-loving mind at some interesting I blame Jade Star. Some interesting nostalgic clips. Have you seen? I can't play it because, weirdly enough, even though it's an ad for the Google Pixel 10, it will give me a copyright claim if I play it. But I've linked to it, and you can read the article about this new ad. It's Google, and they're taking the piss out of Siri. So it's for the Pixel 10, and it roasts Siri for being slow, while Apple's big AI Siri upgrade is reportedly delayed. So if you saw after WWDC, you saw Craig Federighi and old mate Jaws talking about this, the fact that no, it's not delayed, it wasn't up to their standards. The high standards of Siri were not met, so they had to go ahead and can it. And the word on the street is that it shall be 2026 before we see that happening, an upgrade to Siri. Hands up who's hanging out for an upgraded Siri? Who's wanting to check the new Siri and wants Siri to do everything for them? I think, and here's the other thing, in their earnings call that Apple did recently, they talked about Siri, and they talked about the fact that they like being late to the party. They're not the first ones there. They're fashionably late to these things. So they said, we didn't make the first smartphone. We didn't make the first tablet. We didn't make the first PC. But the Mac, the iPhone, the iPad are arguably the best in class of their category. I didn't mention the Vision Pro for some reason. They didn't make the first smartwatch, and now Apple's leading the way with smartwatches too. Excuse me. When I get all riled up, Uh, the cough comes back. Sarah Newen, hello to you. It's been a while. I've been watching you. Speaking of AI, oh, Sarah had a creepy video. If you haven't checked out Sarah's channel, go and check her out. And look, she admitted that she's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. It does cost you money, and it's a little bit on the creep side. But she created an AI Sarah. So now I don't even know. Maybe this is just Sarah's AI agent that she's deployed. But you know what, Sarah? If it is your AI agent that you've deployed, and they want to donate $10 to me, they're welcome here anytime, anytime at all. Thanks for your question, Al Davis. We will get to questions in just a little jiffy. All right, let's go. So I put an article about this because I just thought it was fascinating that Australia's two biggest newspaper companies, well, news media companies, have both said, yeah, we're going to keep printing print editions for the next 5 years. So in 2030, you're going to still be able to get a copy of your local newspaper. The Advertiser here in South Australia will still be a thing. The Age will still be printing in Melbourne. And I mean, I know I'm the wrong demographic, but are enough people out there clamoring to their local milk bar to buy the paper on the daily or subscribing? Like I used to see in front of people, I go for a walk in the morning, and in front of every second or third house, there would be the rolled up newspaper. More recently, they flattened them out and put them in plastic bags because, I don't know, people didn't like the rolled up newspapers anymore. But now, I don't remember. I don't know if you've had a different experience of this, but when was the last time you saw a newspaper sitting on someone's front porch or sitting on someone's front step, or you saw someone driving around or riding bikes delivering newspapers? Our local newspaper here, the Messenger Press, that went online only about 5 years ago now, and that was everyone's first job. My first job, in fact, was collecting paper money. Yes, they let a 13-year-old with those money belt clip things that they used on buses that had all the coins and stuff. Yeah, they let me stroll around in the dark around the streets collecting cash from people. And there were some people that would deliberately hide from me. It was a shameful thing. But where was I? Yeah, newspapers. So I just find that interesting that as much as we think that everything's digital, I guess it's like people still wanting to use analog tape and still recording using analog outboard gear. There is going to be a demand for it. It's a decreasing demand, but there is still a demand for it. So there you go. Real, actual, physical newspapers. Who knew? Something that is not so much relevant to music specifically. Oh, good, it is the real Sarah. Good to see you, my friend. A question. Am I answering questions now or later? Later on, but put your questions in the stream now, Solrak, and we will answer those as We are up on this microphone. See, this is the thing. Since the last firmware update, the Rodecaster has been perfect. Perfect. And then it went like that. And I should have taken footage of it, but yeah, it has crashed, so I am going to have to report it. It's so funny though, because it's like it lulled me into this false sense of security. It hasn't given me any grief for about 2 months, and then boom, right, the live show. So let's see. Are we back over here? Can I get some thumbs up so you can let me know if we are back, and maybe let me know if if you heard any of that rant. I wonder when the rant went out. Yes, the Rodecaster. Yes. No, I don't check the chat. Not when I'm on a roll. If I was checking the chat while I was talking about something important, like I'm gonna lose my place. So I'm thinking it was about 5 minutes ago, so you heard none of my rant. We heard nothing. That's all right. The people on the replay, I'll just chop out all of this just to pretend it never happened. All right, so we're back. We've got audio and we're good to go. And weirdly, normally I have my foldback speakers up louder, and just before the show, I'm like, I don't usually do much playback as part of GarageBand Weekly, so I'm going to reduce the volume so that I don't get so much echo. So if I hadn't, I would have been hearing myself. Yeah, I know. Right when you started the last topic, cool. So let me do. I'll do you the 10-second TLDR. Teenagers like YouTube, and there's a lot more teenagers that watch my content and watch the sort of content that we produce. And Australia are going to ban YouTube as part of their social media ban. But turns out 90%, 9 out of 10 teenagers are actually using YouTube on the daily. So that is it. So you can check out the article down below. Hey, Apple had a good quarter, didn't they? Apple posted a quarterly revenue of $81.8 billion. A net quarterly profit of $19.5 billion. Mac and iPad revenue declined, but services hit an all-new high. So yeah, if you're wondering where Apple's focus is and why they're launching new things like what we talked about last week, the Apple Care One and Apple One with all the things bundled in there. Yeah, this is it. Why they're pouring stuff into Formula One movies on Apple TV. Why they're focusing on Apple Music. Yeah, it's because of that. It's because of services going up. And weirdly, iPhone sales are still really solid. And here's the thing. I was surprised by that because I honestly, 14, 15, and 16, if I had a 14 right now, I'm not racing to upgrade my iPhone because I don't think like they've run out of things. The iPhone 17, I know that there's talk about the Air and the Fold and all that sort of stuff, but iPhone 17, the headline might as well be the camera's slightly better. iPhone 17, upgrade because 4 extra megapixels on the camera, or the lens is slightly larger. No. All right. G'day, Dan Steely. Hello, adorable Anarchy. My hubby's having a hell of a time answering the Apple Care One questions at work. Well, it is confusing because they have, in true Apple style, there's Apple Care that you get when you buy a new device for the first 7 days. Then there's Apple Care Plus, which you have to then actually opt into to sign up to. And now there's Apple Care One. What? Is that all they made? They're doomed. But yeah, it's getting confusing with all the different services that are being offered. But I mean, yeah, I'm kind of locked into it. I mentioned it last week. I'm locked into my Apple One because I need the not only 2 terabytes, but extra 2 terabytes of storage that you get by having Apple One and the iCloud subscription. So I pay something in the ballpark of $70 a month. And that gives me Apple TV, it gives me Apple Music, it gives me Apple Fitness. Yeah, I'm definitely all about that, as you can probably tell. And it gives me Apple News and Apple Arcade. And all those things, I use maybe 3 of those things, and the rest of them I don't. But it's still almost as, and that's the thing, the value proposition's there. But for Apple, it doesn't cost them any more like they produce the content, whether they have 10 subscribers, 100, 1,000, a million, especially if you're not using it and you're not using any bandwidth, providing it doesn't actually cost them much, if anything. So it's that whole Apple thing. Yeah, look, be nice to everyone. Be nice to your Apple techs and be nice to everyone, because very few people are actually actively trying to do bad and to do wrong by you. I mean, some particular forums, Audiobus, Gearslots aside, people are usually nice. People are usually okay, yeah. So that's our news. You didn't hear my quality rant about the YouTube stuff, but hey, the link's in the description if you want to check it out. Thank you, Andy, for your question. I've tagged that one for later. And you can check that out. I'll re-rant on it at the end of the show if we have time. But I did want to do a couple of things here. I wanted to play. We've got one more 8-bar challenge song that has dropped in the last week. So we're going to play that one for you in a sec. Mark's got a new song, which he said is based on his 8-bar song. So we'll take a little listen to a little more of that as well. And then we'll dive in, answer any questions, and finish up probably a little early so you can get over and check out Frank's Community Pulse show. It was a weird crash too. Sorry, I'm thinking about the Rodecaster. It did something it's never done before, which you never want to hear, do you? It crashed, but the faders were still going up and down, but it was just stuck with that bzzz on channel 1. So unnecessary. So thanks for sticking with me. Yes. You're the good people. You're the quality people who have hung around even when stuff goes wrong. And that's the thing. I was thinking about this because my parents are moving at the moment. My daughter's having challenges with school and things because, you know what, teenage life. And I'm like, isn't it weird that we have these things that challenge us, but then our reactions to the things are often worse than the actual things. So like when technology fails, it's like, oh, I've got two options here. I could go, well, technology failed, let's fix it and get on with business. Or I could be like, it's a stupid piece of crap, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, isn't it weird how we kind of self-sabotage sometimes? When things are challenging, we make them even harder. And sometimes what we add is actually worse and more than the actual original challenge. Weird. We've got something here from Teddy Lee, Howlin' Coyote, and this is an absolute bop. It's his 8-bar challenge that he posted a few days ago. He sent me an email to remind me, and we're going to take a listen to that one here. Let's give it a spin. This is called Crazy Woman.
Crazy woman trying to break my heart while I'm standing on the floor.
And then it's Mark's cool 7s and 8s track there next, which we heard last week. That's pretty cool. I love hearing that people are just getting in there and having a crack with these 8-bar challenges. It's a lot of fun. And if you, like me, if you are suffering at the moment from a little bit of creative constipation, is that too gross to call it? Then doing an 8-bar challenge can actually really help. And look, it's helped for Mark Bro, because if we come in here and we search out our mate Mark Bro, we should be able to find his new song. Let's jump in here to Mark Bro. There we go. So he's got a full version based on my 8-bar challenge. A Celtic style storytelling song in 6/8. My favorite of all the time signatures. Should we have a listen?
There's an old Celtic cross by the sea on a hill. Its base covered in moss as if time standing still. Tells the story of one who was caught in a mire. And we recall his tale we sit round the fire. He said to his lass, I'm going out to sea. In my old father's boat to feed the family. There's a storm coming, but I'll be back with the tide. And the fair maiden waited with arms open wide. Now the gods of the sea had other plans. Gotta teach a lesson to this foolish young man. So the storm came early and took him for a ride. And the fair maiden waited with tears.
Very nice stuff there, Mark. Bro, who knew? It's the GarageBand Weekly YML crossover here. But that's cool because that's an example of Mark trying something, maybe something a bit different that he wouldn't normally do, doing 8 bars of it, going, hey, there's something here, and then turning it into a complete song. There you go. I know, straight from the Glenn's playbook. Wonder what what's the death count on that one, Mark? Anyone fail to stay alive in the world? All right, let's get into some Q&A. And first question comes from Pete Johns. Would you recommend the Rodecaster Pro 2? No. The thing is, it's my own fault because it crashes, and then I'm like, okay, this time for sure. This time I'm going to report it and let Rode know, and then I don't, and then it's fine for like another month, and then it crashes. So, and again. How much recording? It hasn't crashed a single time in hours of recording and live streaming of the last 2 months. But yeah, when it does, it's kind of bad. So we'll go with it. Yeah, classic Celtic barrel. Well, there you go. Barry Glenn and Joe Glenn approved. Yeah, the record of the Edmund Fitzgerald vibe. Absolutely. Yeah, I hear it. I feel it. So questions that we have here have come to us from Al Davis, who says, do you have any tips for recording tracks in 6/8 time? Isn't this relevant? 6/8 time in GarageBand iOS. Yeah, look, it's really no different. So 6/8 is one of the few time signatures that GarageBand does actually support. Let's see if GarageBand's going to work here on my my actual device. Here we go. Have they updated anything in the new one? No, you've still got all your transport control. Don't get excited, by the way. Some folks have said, oh, look, you got all these cool new things. All these are just things that you can do down in this section anyway. So there's nothing else that is actually going to help you. The only thing that's slightly handy is you can go straight to GarageBand settings directly from here. But that is it. That is all. So, yeah, let's come out of here and jump into a new song. So, when you're starting a new song, if you weren't aware, let's just pretend we're doing something. If it's 6/8, you've got to have some strings, don't you? So, let's just open up the strings here. And the first thing you'll need to do is go up to your settings and change your time signature from 3/4 to 6/8. Now, one thing, let's just change the key. Let's go to like E major. One thing that I would recommend is that the drummer isn't great in 6/8. So one tip that I would have is to probably play in your own drums or use something like Beat Sequencer to create drums, because some of the drummer patterns in 3/4 and 6/8 just don't sound super cool. But you can experiment with that. Let's put some let's do some chords. We'll do some autoplay here, shall we? Just for shits and giggles, we'll just record in a little ditty. Whoop. Yeah, and see, even the autoplay, some of these things sound a bit rubbish as well, don't they? The other thing is we probably want to slow it down, because when you got 110 beats a minute in 6/8 time, that's pretty quick. So you generally will want your tempo to drop as well. So you get like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a bit more of a slow, swingy. What was the BPM of your song, Mark, in 6/8 time? That seemed reasonably slow as well. So if we do this now, we'll just play. There you go. So that one worked kind of well. That was the one finger autoplay going on there. So yeah, around 80 says Mark. So around about this sort of speed. So there's not much else to consider. The other tip that I would give you is that when you come in here and you do quantization, the triplet and the swing, because you're in 6/8, they can give you some different sorts of results. So sometimes just experimenting with that, and less is more. So I'd usually go with like a 16th light swing if you are actually swinging it. Yeah, and as Tom says, a slight offset swing beat works well. So sometimes not even using any quantization at all, especially if you're using obviously autoplay. But even if you're putting your own instruments in here, then that's something else to consider. Let's add some keys here. Let's go with like a standard piano, shall we? I do still like the original OG piano sounds that we have here in GarageBand. The grand piano. Let's do a little solo work here with the piano. I like that. See, now I'm just having fun creating some sounds. I'm going to add some wind instruments to here. If you weren't aware, here under your GarageBand keyboard sounds, if you come down here to Other, you've got a whole bunch of cool stuff. You've got clarinets, oboes, bassoons, French horns. I'm hearing a bassoon here. Let's record in a bassoon part. All right, I messed up the second half of that completely, but you get the gist here. So really, it's just, as Thomas says here, uses 70% swings for triplet stuff in the auto drummer. Yes, which in things like Logic, you can set the swing level a bit more precisely. But let me just show you the drummer and what the drummer will do with this. So we'll go acoustic drummer. And if you choose one of the sort of styles here that, not Kyle, we'll go with something a bit lighter, something more like your songwriter stuff. We'll go with Parker, a 60s songwriter, shall we? And he's doing nothing. Is he completely... That's so weird. I guess Parker doesn't support 6/8 time. It's an experimental songwriter. This is interesting, isn't it? I thought they at least gave it a go. Let's go back to Kyle. Does Kyle give it a go? No? Have I missed a meeting on this? Maybe I've made up the fact that this ever worked. I'm sure I've used a drummer with 6/8 time before. Maybe not. Yeah, my track Drinking With You was in 6 and 8, as was the song 6 and 8. Let's take a look. Let's just delete this again. We'll just add in drummer. Drummer. Yeah, no, Kyle's just put his sticks down and said, nah, sorry, 6/8 too complex. There you go. Have I never tried a drummer on 6/8 time? That seems like a weird thing. Huh. Let's just close out and open up a brand new project and just do 6/8 and drummer. So if we've got a drummer here, we'll just add the drummer. This is what the drummer should look like. He's not playing at all. See, folks, this is the first time I've tried using drummer here in GarageBand on iPad OS 26. And it's not working at all. So here you go. This is the reason why you don't use this. What if I open up one that has a drummer track in it? This is just bizarre, isn't it? What's this one that I created? When was that? Yesterday. All right. Yep. iOS 26. Don't update. Trust us. Do not update. See, this one has it, right? Look. But what if we add a new Kyle? If we add a new drummer? Nah. So it'll play an old drummer, but as soon as you add a new drummer, it's no go. Look at that, just blank. Darcy said, nah, I don't play with Kyle. Kyle's a dick. No, not going to happen. Yep, the drummers are on strike. No waltzes. Absolutely. But yeah, you're right. If I bring up drinking with you, let's have a look at some of the settings that I had in there. And by the way, if you've got other questions, please ask them. We will get to them because we still do have another 20 minutes of time left if we need it. Let me open up drinking with you, the instrumental version. It'll need to download 344 megabytes. Oh, that was weird. Oh, because it put it in my recent then. Yes, this is all different. All right. Can you open now? There we go. Thank you. You rock. So what did I do in this? This is mostly... Yeah. Da, 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 da. Now, did I use quantization on these? Or did I play them in raw? No. So, yeah. I think I found... Oh, there we go. So, I used straight eighth note quantization, but that was because I used just the coffee shop kit there. Nothing on the piano either. So, I played these in, and I think I did a pretty good job of these ones from memory. So I find it helps to just like think in terms papa, papa, papa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. And you could even argue da 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 da. Yeah, you could even argue that that's actually a waltz. Because 3, 4, and 6, 8. Like anything that's pa pa, whereas where it's more like a clock, like tick 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 tock tock tock, tick 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 tock tock tock, and you could argue about this song which way. So yeah, I guess my overall tips are: set your time signature early, make sure that your tempo is not too fast, and then try not to use quantization because you'll lose that kind of natural swinging 6/8 kind of feel. Yes, the drummer's in the car park with the singer's girlfriend. And every time he says a joke, he can do his own rim shot. Yep. Stuff you made is now premium because it's not made by AI. Yes, the drummers are on strike. All right. We did have some other questions, including this one. Are you doing the questions right now or later? And also now. Got a couple of questions here from Andy Aspine. Hey, Andy, did you see they're making a Bluey movie and they're using 3D CGI animation? Sorry. I don't like 3D animation. It ruins everything. 2D animation for the win. Anyway, Apple Care is up for renewal. Is better getting Apple Care or paying monthly getting the Apple Care One? So short answer here is that if you have 3 devices, I kind of did the sums on this last week. If you have 3 devices worth about $1,000 or more each, then Apple Care One makes sense. If you have only 1 or 2 devices and they are not the latest versions, then it does not make sense. So stick with your Apple Care Plus. So if you've just got a phone or an iPad, Apple Care Plus. Apple Care One is really for people like me. So I mentioned it last week, I've got a MacBook Pro, I've got a Mac Studio, and I've got an iPad M4. So all of those devices are worth more than $2,000 each. And they're all close to or the latest versions of everything, and iPhone 16, but this belongs to Apple, so I don't have to Apple Care this because they will take it back at the end of my loaning period. So yeah, it's a bit like Apple One. If you're only using 1 or 2 of the services, so if you just are an Apple Music user or an Apple TV watcher, I wouldn't recommend Apple One. I would just subscribe separately. But if you have the maximum iCloud drive and you use Apple TV and Apple Music, yeah, it's worthwhile just getting Apple One because you're paying almost as much if you go a la carte And who knows, you might find a cool game like Balatro on Apple Arcade that you don't have to pay extra for. Yeah, this is a great question, and I'd love to ask other folks here who are here on the live chat. I think they will get an update, but I think Apple will spend the time just putting some polish on them to make sure that they work effectively with iPad OS 26. So I would be fairly shocked if we got, say, Logic Pro 2.3, but I think we'll get Logic Pro 2.2.1, and it will just have some tweaks for the windowing, because just to show you how it looks, if we jump over here, it doesn't really adjust that well all the time. It does a pretty good job. So actually, this is, I think, definitely better than Beta 1. But you can see there that it moves things around and it removes the things that you are using less. So yeah, there might just be a few changes to things like that when people let them know with that. And also things like split screen use. So being able to do this and then bring up like your Files app and putting that to the side because you've got your traffic lights now. So yeah, just the ability to be able to do things like drag and things from one side to the other. The other thing that they do need to fix is this, because you might have seen that in GarageBand, they had, I'll just full screen it for a sec. In GarageBand, they had all the different menus that looked very similar to GarageBand for Mac, whereas Logic Pro, yeah, this is not how Apple will want this to look. At the moment, all that Logic Pro menu is all the keyboard shortcuts that you can trigger by actually just tapping on them. So that's not good. And then they've also got the Logic Pro settings, which is similar to that. So yeah, I think we'll see some quality, like not quality of life, but just things that are going to make it work effectively here with iPad OS 26. But in terms of new features, I highly doubt that we're getting new stuff. You burnt yet? Oh, hello, Tremor Bear. That is sad. We do not want a bear with a burnt paw. That is no bueno. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. Is that yeah, we will get an update, but I don't think it'll be significant, and I don't think it'll be something that you need to rush out and do. Well, it might be actually if you go to iPad OS 26. And the problem that we're going to have, I think, because it's such a drastic and such a big update and change, is you're going to have to be very careful. If you've got any devices that can't update to 26, you're going to be best to stay on 18. Let's say that you've got an iPhone 11 and you're creating GarageBand on that, and then you've got an iPad Pro M1 or M2 or M4. Yeah, you can update your iPad, but then you won't have cross-compatibility with your iPhone, because any projects you make in iPad OS 26 will be in whatever version it is, the .1 version that's no doubt going to come out for iPad OS 26. So yeah, that it does cause that problem that if you've got older gear, you kind of need to keep on the iOS of the oldest gear. I had a message from someone this week that had a device on iOS 15.4.1, and then their other device was on 18, and they were like, why can't I transfer my projects? And then why, when I transfer my projects from my phone to my iPad, why can't I transfer them back? And it's because as soon as you open and save something on a newer version, yeah, there is no going back. You cannot go back. The water from the faucet is warm right now. Well, they do say, contrary to popular belief, if you do have a burn, don't use cold water on it anyway. You should use room temperature water. And I don't know exactly why that is. I'm not a medical professional, but it's worked for me when I've burnt myself in the past, is to run it under for a long time, longer than you think. Because that will, what it does is it prevents the scarring and it prevents the burn from being as severe. So yeah, when I burn myself, which I do regularly when cooking, I don't even cook that much, but I still manage to burn myself when cooking, then run it under hot water. Yeah, heat don't play. Can we have some of your sunshine? Got my solar installed and the sun won't come out. It's cloudy as out there today. So Let's finish up here. Don't forget that if you are watching here live, you will be sent over here in just a jiffy. But let's have a quick live look into the community pulse. We've got Johnny Amish there with Frank Terzo and Folk Punk and Dark Flame. I don't know these folks, but that's a cool thing because that means that there's some people that I can go over and get to know. So let's see, JJ's on a rant
She
here.
would always shout out the people that, had helped her with something or supported her. So, yeah.
There you go. Jump on over there. Check out the show, The Community Pulse. It's a good time. Yeah, there you go. I need to send you my solar panels, and you can stick them on your roof for a while. That wouldn't cost a fortune. I was chatting to someone today, and they were like, "Oh, I really need to get a MIDI keyboard," and I'm like, embarrassingly, I have 5 MIDI keyboards now, and I would just send you one. But sending a MIDI keyboard, like even sending this, if I boxed up this Akai and sent it to the US, it would cost me about $80 actually, and this keyboard cost me $120. So it's kind of stupid. Yet, if I went onto Amazon, I could just buy that keyboard and get it sent to someone for cheaper than to send it from here. Like, the cost of shipping things and posting things to the US and Canada in particular is just criminally high. I sent a T-shirt, a mug, and some fruit chocs, which are delicious South Australian chocolates, to the US, and yeah, $80. And it was like a box, a 2 kilogram box, about yay big, $80. And ironically, it didn't make it there. And I got, sorry, this is rant time with Johns. It didn't get there. And it said, "Oh, no, package wasn't picked up by the person." And I'm like, "You didn't tell me the package was waiting for the person. Like, I paid for tracking." And they said, "Oh, yeah, but we only track it up to the point where it hits the US Postal Service. After that, they don't update it. So we know it's hit them." And I'm like, well, what's the point of getting tracking to make sure someone's received a package if you only know it landed in the country and you don't know that it actually got to the person? So it had been sitting at a postal facility, at a post office, for like 2 weeks. And then they're like, "Oh, it didn't get picked up. We're sending it back." And the irony of it is that it did arrive about 3 months later. This box just battered and beaten and stamped to high hell rolls up, and I'm like, "Oh, it's that box of stuff. I guess I get this now," because I wasn't going to send it again. And when I complained to Australia Post, they were like, "Oh, well, it's outside of our control." And I'm like, "No, I don't accept that. I paid you $80 to track a package. Who you use once it gets to the US is not my concern." And it's that thing where businesses like just palm off responsibility on other businesses. And it's like, guess what? You're choosing to subcontract out your work to another company. Too bad. If you want to offer that service, you hire some people that work for you in the US and then you deliver it yourself. But no, because they wanted to use the US Postal Service, it didn't work out. KVK, Clayton Von Kluge, is on Frank Terzo's next Monday. That's cool. So yeah, there's I like Frank's show. Frank's show comes on now, and this is like the end of my week. I have a very weird job in that I start my work week on a Thursday afternoon when I record my podcast and I set up my weekend shows, and then I finish on a Tuesday morning about now. So I call Tuesday day my Friday night. So when I clock off from here, I'm like, boo. Yeah, look, it frustrates the heck out of me because it's unnecessary, and it's like me. And look, is it tempting to do this? Sure, but it would be like me blaming YouTube when my stream doesn't work, and it's like, well, yeah, but Pete, you choose to stream on YouTube, and YouTube don't really owe you much because you don't actually pay them anything. You could go stream on, what's that weird right-wing one? You could go stream on, I can never remember the name of it because I don't watch it. Or you can stream on Instagram, or you can stream on TikTok. So yeah, you have the choice of who you use. So what a bad tradesperson blames their tools, not themselves, right? On that note, we're going to go out with a little song here today. We played this. If you're not a member, I mentioned it before, you missed one of the most insane, fun after parties for YML yesterday. So go, if you are a member now, you can go back and watch the full version. But I'd like to introduce you to a show from the early 90s here in Australia called Mully Grubs. And we found this spectacular song from, I can't even remember the bloke's name now. Let's call him Rob. He has a wicked mullet and an awesome late 80s beard, and he's singing about using his tools. Take it away, Rob.
Edition playlist.
Oh, we've still got Frank playing in the background. We'll silence Frank because we got to hear this in all of its glory.
What kind of building can we do? Gather your things and join into screwing, screwing, screwing all together now. Screwing all together now.
Rubbing.
Things together now. I can build. Do you know how? What kind of building
Oh no.
can we do? Gather your things and join in.
Ready?
Sanding.
Okay, so it's not so bad. But yes, he hammers, he screws, he sands. He's amazing. So yeah, that was a trip. That was music related. So it was related to stuff we were doing around here. Moses, one of our members, was asking for tips on how to find some public domain clips, like old silent movies and old black and white stuff. And we found some great stuff. And then Jade had the brilliant suggestion that we should search out some Mully Grubs, which is disturbing at best. So there you go. You've seen it, and now you can't unsee it. But go and check out. The Internet Archive is actually really cool. So just so that you get some value and use out of this, if you go to archive.org, they have literally thousands of terabytes of video, audio, software, documents, you name it, it's there. It is the internet's archive, and you can go there. I found an old TV show called Pugwall, all 2 seasons, every episode on there, and I don't even know how that's possible. But yeah, there's all sorts of cool stuff on there, and we found a very cool little cartoon called Duck and Cover, which was a little turtle that was scared, and they were like, yes, if the A-bomb is dropped, then make sure you hide under your desk. That'll make sure you're fine. It's good fun. It's good fun. All right, that's going to do it for this one. Yeah, what could it have been? Twisting, twist. Nah, I think they knew what they were doing. I think they were having fun with it. All right, thanks, folks. If you haven't already hit the thumbs up button, please feel free to do so. Apologies, you missed out one chunk of my news and notes, my ranting about YouTube. Maybe YouTube shut me down. Maybe they sent a code that went into my stream that scrambled the circuits of my Rodecaster. Because I was talking about them. Actually, I was defending them. I was talking about them being banned, which they don't want to happen. All righty. Yeah, we had a bit of a Kenny Loggins look, didn't he? All right. Good stuff, Mark. Yeah, thanks for the new song. Hopefully you submit it for Your Music Live. Don't forget, Your Music Live is coming up next week, as well as the happy hour, as well as the podcast, as well as this here show. We've got some more GarageBand 5-minute tutorials coming up through the week. So if you're into GarageBand, you can check those out. There's 80. Count them, 80 in the playlist already. So I started that last year. The GarageBand 5-minute tips has been very well received because who's got time to watch a 20-minute tutorial? Let's keep it to 5. Yeah. Until next time, folks, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, keep creating, and I'll see you next time. Bye.